tissue paper, garbage bag, isopropyl alcohol. Food should be provided by their families. While in isolation for COVID patients or on quarantine for close contacts, you are to continue monitoring your symptoms using the health declaration form issued to you. This is what you will present to the clinic after discharge for the issuance of your medical clearance. Discharge form isolation is ordered by the UHS medical clinic provided there are no symptoms like cough, colds, fever, headache, body pains, etc. in the past 24 hours. May resume class or may be recommended by the medical clinic. The quarantine period for COVID-positive individuals and close contacts will be as follows. For more information, please contact the Benguet State University Health Services. As we follow these guidelines, we are ensuring a safe environment. Let's help protect ourselves, our family, and others.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Paul, for playing that. So I'm clear.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So those are actually a product of a continuous study and assessment of how the different colleges, actually not only from the College of Information Sciences, who is offering the Bachelor of Library Information Science to open the courses already, no? But as of this time, we are doing it slowly, and we on the academic part of it, no? So it's the same, no, for all universities actually, whether private or SUCs, are following a joint joint circular from the OH and CHED. So we are also following that. But as of the moment, we have identified sa curriculum mismo, no, we have identified the subjects that particularly need, no, yung face-to-face. So we started off identifying the courses from the fourth years down to the third years, down to the second years, and down to the first years. Of course, depending on the resources based on the IATF guidelines, kung kaya. So as of the moment, may certification na kami from the LGU. They allowed us already, no, to and gave us the go signal to open the face-to-face. So we chose actually the subjects na nasa fourth year pa, especially those na kailangan nilang gawin dito sa library, like the practicum, and the other subjects like kailangan maka-hands-on. So that's again, as I have mentioned, that's actually a product of continuous assessment, no, of what subjects is practically needed, and we made it in such a way that we surveyed, no, sa aming estudyante, while continually also reminding them the need for them to have their PhilHealth, plus of course yung other requirements na kailangan vaccinated sila. So continuous naman ang CHED, local CHED office namin in gathering information as to how many of our students are already vaccinated, who have their own PhilHealth coverage, if they are covered by PhilHealth, and of course if they are willing, no. And encouragement is already coming from the department also. So we have the Department of Library and Information Science, which is one of the department of the college. The college has 3 programs. If maisingit ko lang, we have the College of Information Technology, we have Department of Information Technology, we have the Department of Development Communication, and we have the Department of Library and Information Science, which are all under the College of Information Sciences. So pare-parehas po yung process that we made use of in trying to assess which of the subjects will be given, will be offered priority for the limited face-to-face. So I guess the video said it all in terms of how we we're able, no, let some of our students, especially yung mga nauna kasi yung sa medical, no, kasi medical courses naman talagang nauna, and then we made use of it as a benchmark for improving and for identifying other courses also to go on face to face. So isa po ang CIS, particularly of the library science and the IT and DevCon. So I will entertain questions from there siguro po, if ever. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Dean Dolendo, for sharing the strategy of Benguet State University. And to our participants, please save your questions. We'll be tackling all your questions after all our presenters have shared their experiences. Salamat po,
Maraming
Dean
salamat.
Dolendo.
Yes. Thank you.
Our next speaker is a graduate of Master of Library and Information Science from UP SLIS. She worked as a records manager for 12 years in a government corporation in the Philippines before joining the academe as an assistant professor with us at UP SLIS, teaching courses on records management and archives and collection development. Later on, she obtained her second master's degree under the Joint Master's Program in Archival Studies of the University of Manitoba and University of Winnipeg in Canada. Our speaker is a candidate for PhD in Anthropology at the University of Manitoba with her research on archiving the cultural heritage of disaster-stricken Indigenous communities in the Philippines. She's the incumbent president of the Council of Deans and Heads of LIS Schools, or CODLIS, and the Dean of the UP SLIS. Everyone, let us hear it from Professor Mary Grace Golfo-Barcelona.
Hi, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much, Sir Paul Jason, for the very kind introduction. Ayan. So, and I'm also thankful for our first speaker, si Dr. Dolendo, for sharing yung kanyang video na ginawa nila sa kanilang university. Informative po nito because it contains all the basic requirements doon sa Joint Memorandum Circular issued by CHED and DOH. So tama-tama, so we don't need to go through the general guidelines anymore. And anyway, sige, can I share my screen, TJ? Thank you, Ma'am Dolendo. And,
Go ahead.
Apo, sige. Share ko lang. Meron lang akong prepare na very short presentation to guide me on my sharing of the experiences of SLIS. Nakikita niyo po ba ang aking screen?
Yes po.
Ayan. Thank you. There you go. Ayan. So again, good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be sharing with you our experience as we gradually prepare for the reopening of classrooms. Hindi po yung programs natin. For our student in the upcoming academic year 2022-2023. Although I must say na hindi pa tayo ganun kasigurado pagdating sa part namin kung fully implemented na namin yung face-to-face by academic year 2022-2023. But we are also slowly preparing for it, kagaya rin ng ibang mga universities dito sa Pilipinas. Ayun. So, since the start of the pandemic in 2020 and the declaration of the nationwide lockdown in March of the same year, all universities in the Philippines and all parts of the world hastily transitioned to fully online teaching and learning mode. Those who have been doing the distance education or online courses even before the pandemic were very lucky because they did not stress out too much, kagaya natin. But those who have been doing the traditional fully face-to-face setup were left in quandary on how to transition in the quickest way to fully online teaching. And even before thinking of the how, the first question they had to deal with was, does the university have the resources to adapt to this sudden change? I'm sure marami pong nakaka-relate sa initial na dilemma natin ito. Meron ba tayong resources to adapt to the change? Hindi po ba? Or were the faculty and students skilled enough to transition to this mode and then And then how? So yun na yun, papasok na yung paano. Nobody was exempted from this experience. We at UP also went through these challenges. Moving forward, we are now maneuvering well with the current fully online setup. And currently, we are slowly preparing for the inevitable. Kaya inevitable po, pero hindi naman sa negative sense. Inevitable. Kaya siya, inevitable because talagang we need to transition eventually, whether hybrid or hybrid, hybrid flexible learning. So, kailangan nating desisyon ng mabuti kung ano ang i-adapt natin in the coming academic year. So, my short sharing or presentation has 3 parts. So, yung initial, yung easing back to work. So, I'll be discussing just briefly kung paano tayo we try to ease back to work, to yung dati nating work arrangement. And then, of course, the vaccination drive here at UP and the lowering of alert level in the metro. So yung ano yung naging epekto nito and the gradual face-to-face preparation na ginagawa natin. So the UP Diliman campus has resumed limited operations since the enhanced community quarantine or ECQ was lifted in May of 2020. So ito yung inaalaw na pero mga pa lang, skeletal force pa lang ang pinapapasok sa mga opisina. And then eventually, nung nag-ease down na yung mga restrictions, we slowly modified work schedules and retrofitted offices to comply with the IATF and local government units' health and safety protocols to keep transmission within the workplace at a minimum. Ayun, di ba po ganun ang ginawa natin? I'm sure ganun din ang sa ginawa ng ating mga kasamahan sa ibang mga universities. Pagkatapos, nung unti-unti nag-i-improve, inaalaw na ngayon yung application ng limited face-to-face. So, for priority courses. And kasama po kami dun sa mga nag-apply, yung buong UP Diliman, but not UP SLIS. So, I'll make it clear, hindi po kami sumama dun sa nag-apply for limited face-to-face kung saan kailangan na i-approve ito ng CHED at IATF at i-inspectionin pa yung facility. So, ang naging basis din naman po namin for the application ng ibang mga programs or degrees or colleges dito sa UP Diliman, ito po, yung prioritization. So, yung A1, graduating students who are in the final semester. So yung colleges or institutes may prioritize based on their capacity to accommodate students. A2, senior standing undergraduate students, graduate and postgraduate students in their final academic year. And A3, yung junior standing undergraduate students, undergraduate and postgraduate students. Ayan. So ito pong classification ito, sila yung naging priority. This prioritization scheme is in place until such time and condition change and UPD can accommodate more students in campus. So ngayon ito yung priority natin sa buong UP Diliman campus po. So merong mga nag-apply, I think around 27 programs po yung nag-apply for CHED and these were approved. So meron na pong mga iba na nagko-conduct na limited face-to-face dito. Pero yun again, I would like to emphasize na hindi po kami sumama dito because we felt that the existing courses that we are offering can still be conducted through online, fully online arrangement or the combination of synchronous and asynchronous teaching mode. Ayan. So part din na naging contribution ni UP Diliman to be able to slowly transition or be ready with the face-to-face arrangement or learning arrangement. So UP coordinated with the local government unit of Quezon City and offered yung UP gym to be the vaccination site, particularly for UP personnel. So lahat po ng pwede and their dependents para po maging ready na rin yung area. Alam niyo naman kasi dito sa UP yung campus, yung UP campus po kasi nandito merong residential, meron din yung doon sa academic mga facilities. So nandito rin po yung housing ng mga empleyado, pagkatapos pati na rin ng mga retirado ng mga empleyado. So marami rin dito. So isa yun sa naging aksyon ng UP Diliman para makatulong para sa pagpapabilis ng paghahanda ng UP Diliman Campus para sa gradual reopening ng facilities. Pagkatapos unti-unti rito habang pataas na pababa na ng pagbabayo alert level ng Quezon City, ng Metro Manila, unti-unti na rin pumapasok yung mga empleyado. Although ngayon, alert level 1 ng Metro Manila at ang Quezon City, minabuti ng UP Diliman na hindi muna kasi pagka-alert level 1 ka, pwede nang i-require na pumasok 100% yung mga empleyado. But UP Diliman Chancellor decided not to push for the requirement of 100% workplace return because we have to make sure na ready na yung mga facilities natin bago pumasok yung mga empleyado. So the same goes with the students. Kung yung empleyado namin, hindi pa namin ito pinapa-report ng 100%, unti-unti po, gradual po. Noong March 1 to 15, ang instruction was 30 to 50% workforce. Basta tiyakin lang na meron pong tumatao every day in order for the unit to function at meron sumasagot sa mga queries, mga kung ano-ano katanungan pagdating doon sa unit. Ang sumunod naman po rito 50 to 80% na nung March 16 to katapusan ng March. So we're now waiting for the new guidelines para po sa mga succeeding na months pa. So at the moment, we're following yung UP Diliman guidelines for the gradual reopening of face-to-face class activities. Actually po, version 4 na to. And this was updated last March 22, 2022. So ito po yung pinaka-latest. So version 4, nag-start po yung version 1 noong bandang mga November po. Pagkatapos update kami ng update yung management. Hindi po kami mismo. Update yung management to adapt to the changes din na nire-release ng SHED at ng DOH. And sa part naman ng UPSLIS, what we started doing, yung pong una, we came up with guidelines for the return to work arrangement. So meron na po kaming guidelines kung sino-sino yung magre-report muna rito, ano ang gagawin, aling rooms ang gagamitin para sa mga empleyado natin, admin staff, and our librarians kung kailan sila dapat na nandun sa library. So, nagkaroon po kami ng general guidelines dito. And currently kasi, yung talagang building po namin, ginagawa pa, hindi pa ito tapos. So, nakikibahay po muna kami dito sa School of Labor and Industrial Relations. So, ibig sabihin po, limitado rin yung mga classrooms. Actually, nandito po ako ngayon. Limitado rin yung mga classrooms na ginagamit namin dito sa SLIS. So, we had to assign yung rooms para po sa mga papasok na faculty members, yung mga paminsan-minsan nagre-report po rito at doon sila mag-i-stay to do their work. Iba rin yung nakahiwalay din yung Office of the College Secretary para po kung sakaling merong mga taong pupunta rito, nandun sila, sama-sama sila doon. Although limited pa rin yung pasok ng tao, and we had to calculate how many persons can stay in the room at the same time. So, consistent with the guidelines na kailangan natin ipatupad doon sa binigay ng Joint Memorandum Circular ng DOH and ng SHED. So, aside from that, we also plan to do a survey ng pagbabalik sa face-to-face nga, yung pag-hold nito. We will check kasi part of the instruction sa mga colleges, sa mga units dito sa Diliman, ay magkaroon ng evaluation din. Kasi we know very well na kahit na nasa bahay tayo, work from home tayo, nagagawa natin yung ibang mga trabaho natin. In the same way na meron din naman tayong mga trabahong mas effectively magagawa natin pagka nasa opisina tayo. So ang naging instruction sa mga heads ng units dito sa UP Diliman, you have to conduct an assessment evaluation ng productivity ng bawat empleyado so that we can gauge kung saan ba mas magiging productive tayo. Kasi posibleng, sabi nga nung isang dean from the social works, sabi niya sa amin, posible kasi na although very productive sa bahay, pero kailangan din from time to time pumunta at magkaroon ng break para makalabas naman at doon naman sa workplace naman gawin. In the same way na magagawa mo ng maayos din sa workplace na from time to time kailangan mo sa bahay gawin para ma-unburden ka naman ng worries na may iniwan ka sa bahay na inaalala mo. So, kailangan balansihin natin to. And at the moment, we are in that process. Kailangan naming balansihin kung saan mas magiging productive ang faculty, ang staff, at kung paano rin mas magiging high flex ang pagtuturo pagka nalaman namin kung ano yung pulso ng mga estudyante natin. So, kinailangan prior to face-to-face arrangement, we have to prepare the following part ng guidelines natin for face-to-face. Dapat bawat unit may sarili sila customized na guidelines para sa face-to-face arrangement. And then of course, we have to apply muna ng face-to-face arrangement consent. Parang gano'n na mangyayari. We need to write a letter to the address to the chancellor through the yung committee specific na nag-aasikaso dito sa adoption ng face-to-face para makapag-prepare. Pagkatapos po, let me check yung buong pangalan ng aming committee dito. Ayan. Crisis Management Committee. Ayun, nakakalimutan ko siya madalas. Committee on Crisis Management. Ayun po. So through that, papunta sa Chancellor and then the Chancellor will approve. Pero kailangan we have a work plan. Meron kami ng description ng retrofitted facilities namin consistent with the joint circular. Pagkatapos yung result ng consultation with stakeholders, and then we also have to have yung LGU approval should the students need to conduct yung face-to-face outside of campus. So like for example, yung mga internship natin na pwedeng gawin sa labas, but they need to secure approval ng local government unit. So ito po yung mga requirements in order for us to apply for face-to-face and subject to approval. Pagka po na-approve ito, we will be given yung certificate of authority to conduct limited face-to-face arrangement. So yun po ang amin niyang gagawin. So, currently, we are on a general remote teaching arrangement pa po. Ayan. So, although meron ng limited face-to-face implementation sa UP Diliman, our unit, our school, the School of Library and Information Studies, plans to apply for approval of the limited face-to-face arrangement for academic year 2022-2023, of course, subject to the result of the survey that we will conduct soon. Pagkatapos the guidelines that we will draw eventually shall be guided by the joint memo of CHED and DOH, NIPO DOJ. Ayon. So, as a final reminder po, the health and safety of everyone is our utmost concern. Lahat po tayo, obligasyon natin na tiyaking ligtas at maayos ang kalagayan ng mga estudyante, ng faculty at staff sa ating unit. So let us all work together para po matiyak na lahat tayo ay ligtas at malusog. Dahil ang pandemya hindi pa po tapos, tuloy pa rin hangga't hindi po tayo nagkakaroon ng talagang tiyak na kasagutan dito or gamot dito sa pandemyang ito. So hindi pa po tayo talaga masasabing ligtas. Kaya mabuting mag-iingat po tayong lahat. Ayun. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Dean MG, for sharing the strategies and experience of UP-SLIS. Moving on, we're very lucky to have a speaker coming from Mindanao to share their experience in opening their classes. Dr. Sornito has enjoyed a career in academic and research libraries spanning 28 years and is currently designated as Program Head of BLIS and a former Director of Libraries at the University of Southern Mindanao in Cabacan, Cotabato for almost 20 years. As director, she has full responsibility for leading and directing all aspects of library services of university libraries, network of 6 college-based libraries at the main campus, and branch libraries in Cadapawan City and USM Libungan campus. She was the first president of the Mindanao Association of State Tertiary Schools Library Network or MASLINET, with 29 member institutions established in 2014. Dr. Sornito is also the past president-elect of the Cotabato Libraries Network or COLINET, former president of PLAI Soxcargen, vice president of PLAI Mindanao, and chair House of Delegates from 2017 to 2018 of PLAI National. Her research interests include the Green Library, library management and leadership, information literacy and learning spaces, user behavior, resource sharing, and networking. She's part of the research team outside USM that undergoes action research in education. She's currently serving as Associate Professor 4 in the College of Engineering and Information Technology, Department of Computing and Library Information Science, and designated Deputy of Quality Management Representative of USM ISO 9001-2015 certification. She is a lead accreditor of AACCUP in the area of library, a recipient of Citation Award as Program Specialist, Outcomes-Based Quality Assurance Program Instrument, BLIS Program Copyright Certificate and Registration Number 0-2015-2249, and also awarded as Outstanding Academic Librarian in Mindanao in 2017, given by the Philippine Association of Academic and Research Libraries or PAAR, and Outstanding Accreditor in 2018 given by AACCUP. Everyone, join me in welcoming Dr. Anita Sornito. Hello po.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Paul, Jason, and the rest of the PATLS here, members and the Executive Board. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. It's my honor also to be part of this endeavor also, sir. And thank you for allowing USM to be part in the sharing of this preparation for the limited face-to-face. Allow me to share. Dalawa po yung isi-share ko. Yung may video po ako about our LIS program. And then may PowerPoint din ako mamaya for the presentation po. Mag-focus po ako sa preparation po ng aming OJT, sa aming LIS OJT po for this semester through my PowerPoint. Okay po, allow me to present ito yung i-present ko, sir, parang ano lang ito sa aming program, parang bird's eye view na din po na through video po ito. Okay po. Sir. Video. Sir?
Yes po,
hindi
ma'am.
po siya pwedeng ma-share, sir. Pwede po ako mabigyan po ng ano?
Yes
Pwede siya
po.
ma-share? Screen
Yan po.
sharing has failed to start po.
Okay, please try po ulit. Yan po. We enabled it for everyone na po.
Okay, sir. Wait lang. Wait lang, sir, ha? Very sorry.
Okay lang po. Take your time.
Yan. Wait po, and then this video. Sir Nel. Sir Nel. Share po ako sa akin. Tama po ba, sir? Okay na po ba?
Yes po. We can see it and hear the video.
Okay, sir.
The Department of Computing and Library Information Science, under the College of Engineering and Information Technology, offers 3 baccalaureate programs: Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, and Bachelor of Library and Information Science. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science was offered in 1997 by virtue of BOR Resolution Number 28, Series of 1997, in the Department of Computer Science with Engineer Alberto C. Arellano as the first chairman. He is dubbed as the father of computer science in the university because he was the proponent in offering the said program under the then College of Engineering. The Bachelor of Science in Information Management, which was later changed to Information Systems based on CMO 53 Series of 2006, was offered in 2003 by virtue of BOR Resolution Number 21 Series of 2003 in the then Department of Computing headed by Engineer Geraldo P. Ulep. The most recent addition in 2016 is the Bachelor of Library and Information Science, which was formerly under the College of Arts and Sciences, offered in 2009 by virtue of BOR Resolution Number 15, Series of 2009.
The Bachelor of Library in Information Science. History. Way back in 2008, The University of Southern Mindanao offered the Bachelor of Library in Information Science under the CMO 8 series of 2005 in response to the growing demands of producing quality graduates in the library profession, particularly in the province of Cotabato. In the year 2009, the BOR Resolution Number 5 Series of 2009 was approved. It enabled the LIS program to be under the College of Arts and Sciences. This 2016, through the CHED Memorandum Order Number 8 Series of 2016, BLIS was transferred at the College of Engineering and Computing in conformity with CMO Number 24 Series of 2015. And through the years, BLIS had produced quality graduates who are now employed in North Cotabato, General Santos City, Coronadal City, and Davao City, and was accredited by AACUP as Level 1. Extension. Guided by the basic principle of service through unity, cooperation, truthfulness, and practice of professional ethics in the profession, USM BLIS program is consistent in its principle of social responsibility and commitment to serve and help improve the literacy level of every Filipino and recognize the vital role of knowledge and information in nation building by establishing, organizing, improving, and developing knowledge and information centers. And in order to apply in what the students have learned in the class, the BLIS program conducted major activities which can develop the potentials and the skills of the students, such as educational tour, seminar, workshop, and conferences. And on-the-job training. With the passion, commitment, and hard work in the service, the BLIS program will continue to soar high and achieve greatness through excellence. Mabuhay USM! Mabuhay Sancom! At mabuhay ang BLIS!
Hello. Okay po. Sir, am I audible this time? Medyo
Yes po.
ano lang po kasi yung klase namin mga estudyante. Pinipresent ko lang po yung aming video, no? Just to ano lang po, i-connect lang po namin kasi nami-miss ko kasi yung mga face-to-face kami noon, no? But my presentation really would focus. That's only 6 minutes, sir. So I still have 7 minutes to my presentation in PowerPoint. So focus lang po ako dito sa aming limited ngayon, no? So nami-miss lang namin yung face-to-face doon. Kaya yun yung mga activities. Yun yung BLIS na actually namin in USM. So allow me to present my PowerPoint. This, wait lang po. Fidel. PowerPoint. Okay, PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so good afternoon, pleasant afternoon to all. So I'll be representing also our USM LIS program experience on the preparing LIS program for the limited face-to-face. So nakita po namin kanina, nakita po natin kanina guys, yung ating, wait lang po, hindi po siya ma-enter. Very sorry for the technicality po. First of all, we always follow the memorandum issued by our president, especially in the order with regards to the online classes as well as the limited face-to-face. So in the memo, the subject here is requiring on-site workforce of the University of Southern Mindanao under COVID alert level. So with this memo, in-emphasize po naming presidente, that was on January 2022, to report na po yung aming mga faculty po no, in a limited face-to-face in a work-from-home arrangement or in a skeletal workforce. So depende po sa aming level or alert level dito po sa Mindanao, especially in North Cotabato area. So naka-emphasize po dito na based po sa aming, wait lang, hindi ko siya mag-enter. Sorry sir. Mahina ang wait lang po. Dito po nakalagay ang different levels ng alert level. We have 5 skeleton workforce. So in-entertain po namin dito kung ano po yung level na sa lalong-lalo na po sa faculty at sa mga staff. But wala pa po talagang estudyante during the time na mag-ano pa po dito sa university. So it's all about online classes pa noong January of 2022. Wait. Bakit hindi ito mag-enter?
Dean Sornito, sorry, excuse me, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, sir. Okay, so with that memo, the president emphasizes the different levels po, alert level, wherein the faculty should also follow, especially in the different colleges. So on level 5, skeletal workforce in site and remainder under alternative work arrangement. And then for alert level 4, at least 40% on-site workforce and remainder under alternative work arrangement pa rin, as approved by the university president. And then alert level 3 for at least 60% on-site workforce. So nagkataas po yung level ay talagang din po, nagkaano po yung level, nagkataas din yung workforce namin on duty. And then on section 2 of that memo, authority to increase on-site workforce, so it depends on the heads of the unit. The dean may increase on-site workforce should also set by the university to be insufficient for the delivery of service if the task cannot be implemented off-site. So there are cases kasi na, especially in the administrative task, that we have to perform it in on-site. Kaya naka-focus po kami doon sa both work from home and on-site po yung duty namin sa university. Okay po. And then another memo po. Okay, sorry. Another memo. Sorry po, bumalik po ako. So ito po another memo issued 015 series of 2022. Ito ay noon lang March 16, 2022. The subject is on-site duty and simulation and piloting exercises of faculty members in preparation for the limited face-to-face classes. So ito po yung latest namin na memo na talaga pong ini-emphasize po ng aming president, like number 1. So here in the preparation of the anticipated full capacity of limited face-to-face classes, all faculty members are required to report on site to participate in the preparation activities beginning March 17 of 2022. So last March 17 po, 100% po ng aming mga faculty members po, lalo-lalo po sa LIS, ay talaga pong nagre-report. All faculty members shall report to the respective duty station, dry run simulation or simulate functions and work based on the faculty time and location form and alert level 1. So ito po yung order. And then gumawa po kami ng actually Google form, no, survey, sort of survey, para po makikita namin ang readiness po ng aming mga estudyante, lalong-lalo na po na may mga laboratory classes as well as yung mga naka-OJT po for this year. So for the semester, sorry, kaya nga yung aming BLIS po ngayon na 4th year, at talaga pong part po dito no, sa face-to-face na po na mangyayari. And then another one, HRMDO shall collect the data from the readiness of the survey. So mayroon na pong data at almost 80% po ay talaga pong ang mga estudyante ay fully vaccinated, as well as mayroon na din po silang, kasi 4th year na sila, makakuha na po din sila ng kanilang PhilHealth kasi 21 years up. Kasi yung allowed for PhilHealth. And then another order po beginning March 2021, so classes in senior years, so pinapauna na po yung mga higher years, lalo po yung mga 4th year students. So all faculty members involved shall admit students on face-to-face classes. So only vaccinated and PhilHealth covered students can participate in the pilot face-to-face classes. So with this, ito po yung memo, no, kasi dito lang po talaga kami din nagre-rely sa memo. And then sa number 5 po, only faculty members not involved in the pilot testing shall continue their simulation exercises to complete at least 1 week. So mayroon po talagang target time, yung pagsasimulate po namin, and then makikita po namin how ready po yung ating mga estudyante at saka aming mga faculty members. After 2 weeks of pilot classes, college dean shall convene faculty members to discuss ways to improve the system of instructional delivery, and they shall submit report. Actually, mayroon din kaming submission of report to the BPA on in a recommendation for the system specific for the college or institute. Okay, and then the BPA shall assess the success of the first wave of the pilot testing. Now, number 7, second wave po ng pilot testing po namin involving junior, 3rd year po namin, but I think hindi po siya actually ano pa po, no, kasi undergoing pa po kami sa aming survey, pero inuna talaga yung mga 4th year. And then ito na po yung mga remaining orders po ng aming mahal na presidente. Okay, now ano ko lang po na aside from that online na face-to-face po, mayroon po kaming classroom observations na kahit po naka-BLE po kami, may schedule po talagang classroom observation in both synchronous and asynchronous classes. Our library also is ready na po for the setup for the face-to-face. Ito po yung aming main library, ready na din for the limited face-to-face po. Ayan po. So yan, yung sa library namin na area. Now on the conduct of OJT training, so ito po yung aming mga 4th year ngayon. So nagkakandak po kami ng parents consultation through online lang muna kasi hindi po namin pwedeng ang mga parents po ay talagang papuntahin doon dito sa aming school. So nagkandak po kami ng parents consultation at ito po yung inano namin yung on the job training talaga ay kahit po online or face to face or ano po yung maging modality, kailangan i-perform yung 243 laboratory hours based yan po sa CMO for in-campus, and then another 243 for the out-campus. Now, the total of this will be 486 laboratory hours. So, I really applied for the president. No? Talagang nag-apply po kami doon sa amin sa BLIS na talaga pong dapat mag-out-campus po yung estudyante. Na dapat may out-campus talaga sila. Kasi kasi ang order kasi is nasa in-campus lang daw lahat. So sabi ko, sir, for the library science, kailangan talagang mag-out campus, and then we are ready for the requirements. Ang dami pong requirements, no? Lalo-lalo na po pag out campus at face-to-face. Mamaya Kita po yan. Yung mga requirements at talaga naman pong gi-follow namin lahat kasi hindi pwedeng ma-out yung mga estudyante. No? So during the in-campus practicum, our student interns are assigned in the different campus-based libraries, in the main library, and then nag-ano lang po din kami ng 3 other college-based libraries para po may expose talaga. Kasi alam naman natin yung ating mga library science students talaga pong from theory kailangan pong talagang may exposure po at may face-to-face talagang mangyayari. Okay? So, yan po yung sa aming OJT. And then, ito po yung maging target partners namin for the out-campus. Ito po yung mga 4 types of libraries po yung dapat ang exposure nila. So, nasa within the province of Cotabato lang din po, yung Cotabato Provincial Library, Special Library, School Library, and then Academic Library. At least mayroon lang talaga silang exposure for this. And then, okay, alam naman natin yung goals and objectives po ng ating practicum. And then ito po yung ito po yung mga requirements, no? If and when ano po yung ating mga estudyante, no? Lalo po yung mga OJT for outside po, no? So letter to the president, kailangan ng certificate of compliance ng mga requirements, MOA, deed of commitment, internship contract, ang dami po, kailangan pa mga syllabus. So kailangan po namin itong ipi-perform lahat-lahat prior po doon sa pag-deploy ng ating ang aming mga OJT. So yan po yung mga requirements. So there are actually 14 requirements, no? At ina-assess po ito ng aming SIPP director para po talagang very ano po doon sa requirements, no? Para lang makalabas, no? Ito po yung sa off-campus. But then again, in my side as the program head, kailangan ko talaga din trying my best to really mabigyan po ang ating mga estudyante ng magandang exposure po, no? Kasi mahirap lang po kung face-to-face at online lang din at nasa in-campus lang din. Okay, so yan po yung mga guidelines. And then pinagawa po ako ng activity plan, ng OJT activity plan for the whole semester kung ano po ang mangyayari sa mga OJT. So mayroon po akong task po ditong nilagay, and then ano po ang month, ano po ang mga Gantt chart ito na at the end of the semester po talaga pong ma-expose yung ating mga estudyante in campus and off campus with the of course requirement of 486 hours space po yan sa ating CMO 15 series of 20 CMO 24 series of 2015. Ito po yung schedule, my dear colleagues, na nakaschedule din po kung ano, there are only 16 na sa aking mga OJT ngayon graduating. So every 2 weeks po silang ini-expose, every 2 weeks po nagro-rotate po sila. So mag-i-end po yung aming in-campus ngayon is by April, April 8, mag-i-end na po ngayon, and then proceed na po din kami with all the requirements complied. So na po kami sa out campus namin for another hanggang May 27 po na mag-i-end. And then 1 week after that will be webinar on, meron po akong sponsor na webinar para doon sa mga work ethics, so ano yung mga kailangan din, parang supplement na lang din silang actual na exposure. Okay po, may OJT payment din kami, and this is approved by the board. Hindi po kami basta-basta lang din mag-ano ng mga OJT payment po. So yan po. Yan po yung weekly task namin kahit po naka-online, naka-face-to-face po, at talaga po monitor po sila through the LIS OJT trainers weekly, trainees weekly activities po. No? Kailangan ilagay nila lahat yung kanilang mga work, mga task, and then ano po yung time in and time out. So minomonitor po sila face-to-face po. Okay, so yan po, we are using our Moodle in our PLE, where ito po yung dashboard ko sa aming library, sa aming VLE namin. So ito po yung aming minomonitor din kami. And then today po, the start of our midterm examination. At ito naman po ay talagang all face-to-face na po ngayon, no? From first year, second year, third year, fourth year, kasi po nag-alert level na din kami. Nasa level 1 na din kami. So, yan po yung namin. But doon po sa aming mga online classes, minomonitor din kami. Meron po kaming mic o-observe din kahit sa mga online or mga synchronous classes po. Okay, so yan po yung aming mga ginapost po namin, yung aming mga events, mga activities kung nagkaklase po kami sa aming mga BLIS major subjects po. And I think yan lang po ang masishare ko po dito sa aming University of Southern Mindanao. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Sornito. And also, thank you for sharing that video. That's true,
Yeah.
no? Nakakamiss po talaga yung mga ganun.
Yes, sir.
So, congratulations
Very sorry for
also
the technicality, sir. Sorry
no
talaga.
worries po, no worries. Maraming salamat po, Dr.
Thank you, sir
Sornito.
Paul.
Moving on, our last but definitely not the least speaker, which we had the pleasure of working with here in PATLS for the last many years. Our next speaker is Assistant Professor Maria Pri-Ann Tinipunan. Professor Tinipunan is a registered librarian and a professional teacher. She is an Assistant Professor 5 and currently the coordinator of the Bachelor of Library and Information Science program of the University of Santo Tomas. Prior to joining the USC College of Education as faculty member, she worked as a school librarian, holding the positions of Leader Services Librarian, High School Librarian, and Circulation Librarian. She also worked as a library consultant, experienced in organizing school and academic libraries, and as marketing research assistant. She was appointed as a digital media asset management librarian of the UST Educational Technology Center. She earned her Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Library Science and Bachelor of Arts major in Library Science degree from the University of Santo Tomas. She's currently pursuing her Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Technology at the Assumption University of Thailand. She's appointed as the second alternate member and additional CPD Programs Evaluator of the Professional Regulatory Board for Librarians, Continuing Professional Development or CPD Council. She's also a member of the Professional Regulatory Board for Librarians, Career Progression and Specialization Program, Credit Accumulated and Transfer System or the CPS-PCATS Committee, and a member of the CHED Regional Quality Assessment Team or RCAT for LIS program in the National Capital Region and Region 4A Calabarzon. She was a former member of the Commission on Higher Education Technical Committee for Library and Information Science or the CHED-TC-LIS. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all hear it from Professor Maria Pri-Ann Tinipunan.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you and allow me to share my screen. So I'll just prepare my presentation. In the meantime, I'd like to say that I'm very happy to be in your presence this afternoon, especially that we have colleagues who are from different regions of the Philippines. So I'm very happy, and hopefully when it is possible that we can meet face to face. So I'll just prepare my presentation. Okay, so I have 15 minutes to present. So once again, good afternoon, fellow LIS educators and colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss the preparations that we are doing for the implementation of limited face-to-face classes. Some guidelines were actually discussed earlier, but allow me to just share with you our practices and our plans. Especially for the possible implementation of a limited face-to-face classes in the BLIS program of the College of Education. So allow me to give you a very short background or what's happening in the BLIS program. So we are currently in a enhanced virtual mode of instruction. By the way, before I continue, I just would like to inform you that I'm only sharing the practices that we have in the BLIS program, okay, which is directly influenced or mandated by the university. So to continue, so we are following an enhanced virtual mode of instruction. So at the onset of the pandemic, our university conducted seminars and training that will equip all faculty members in delivering classes remotely. We are using Blackboard or the UST Cloud Campus as learning management system, which allowed us to conduct synchronous and asynchronous classes. We also monitor the health status of our BLIS students by conducting a survey. This coming academic year 2022 and 2023, the BLIS program is exploring the possibility of conducting limited face-to-face classes. Because in March 2021, UST is one of the 6 higher education institutions allowed by the CHED to hold face-to-face classes, but for medical programs only. So in the case of BLIS, we are exploring the possibility of conducting limited face-to-face classes, especially that the practicum of our incoming fourth-year students will start this coming academic year 2022 to 2023. So as I mentioned a while ago, some of the guidelines or requirements were shared already by our friends from Mindanao, from Benguet, and of course Dean Grace. But allow me to share some of what the checklist or our self-assessment checklist. So programs that intend to offer limited face-to-face instruction must complete a self-assessment checklist and submit supporting papers for evaluation and seek the approval of our administrators. These requirements will subsequently be presented to the Commission on Higher Education. In my college, the College of Education, the two programs that were already granted permission to offer limited face-to-face classes are the BS Nutrition and Dietetics and BS Food Technology programs. The department chairpersons of these programs were kind enough to share their practices so that we can emulate. Now, the self-assessment checklist is divided into 3 sections, specifically management and oversight, institutional policies and procedures, and controls. We must submit supporting documents for each area at the university and program levels. So just to give you an overview. So on the area of management and oversight, these are the specifications or the specific requirements that require us to submit supporting documents. So yes, I admit that they are quite numerous, but we will endeavor to comply so that we will be able to get permission to conduct limited face-to-face classes. So the first requirement under management and oversight is the creation of a crisis management committee, as well as the creation of a communication mechanism for the parents and other stakeholders. And we are also required to create a database of programs, courses, and year levels, as well as the participants in the prospective limited face-to-face classes. And I think this was mentioned as well, that the students must be members of PhilHealth. And vaccination status is very important. That's why even before even before, we are closely monitoring the vaccination status of our BLIS students. And then, on the area of institutional policies and protocol, the following requirements are flashed on the screen. So we have here the contact tracing protocols, screening, containment, and lockdown protocols, emergency transfer protocols for COVID-19, quarantine and isolation protocols, among others. So I will not read it one by one. I guess my colleagues here are somehow familiar already with these requirements. So just like what I've said earlier, we are required to submit supporting documents that show that we are prepared, and we are following these protocols. And then we also have the following under institutional policies and protocols. wherein we have to create a predetermined seat plan, the maximum capacity of an area, as well as the break time. So the break time has to be staggered, as well as a catch-up plan. So catch-up plan is how can the students catch up in case they fail to attend this limited face-to-face classes. And school canteen and other establishments should follow health and safety protocols. So that is one of the requirements or part of the areas that we need to address. And lastly, control. No? This is another area in our checklist. So we have to look at the engineering controls to ensure protocols are observed. So what do we mean by engineering controls? We are talking about physical distancing, adequate ventilation, physical hygiene, and environmental hygiene. And of course, the signages, okay, to constantly remind the students to follow these health protocols, hand washing facilities, isolation rooms, adequate air exchange, so on and so forth. Okay, so again, no, these requirements are quite numerous, but we endeavor, no, to address them in order to make it possible for our students to have the limited face-to-face classes. Okay, so as mentioned, we will, as I guess my other colleagues can agree with me, that the safety of our students is of utmost priority. So we will work on complying with all of the requirements, but we will ensure always that the safety of our students is given more priority. And we will adopt to the new normal, which is an enhanced virtual mode of learning. And hopefully, we will be able to give opportunity for our students to have limited face-to-face classes in order to bridge the gap between theory and practice. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Pri-Ann. Now that we heard from our speakers, let us now hear from our reactor. Our reactor for this afternoon is another leader in the LIS profession. She finished her Bachelor of Library Science, her Master's in Library Science, and Master of Arts in Education, major in Educational Technology from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She also successfully obtained postgraduate certificates in Quality Management in Higher Education from Lyceum of the Philippines University, specialist course on Management of Library and Information Services from the College of Librarianship in Wales, in the UK, and an internship program on the applications of computers in libraries from the Ohio State University. She has worked in the LIS profession for more than 20 years in various capacities. She served as chairman of the Professional Regulatory Board for librarians from 2006 to 2013 and has been the director of libraries of the Lyceum of the Philippines University from 2001 to 2020. Currently, she is a lecturer at the Centro Escolar University. She is a recipient of multiple awards, including the Outstanding Alumna from UP-LSAA and UP Alumni Association Professional Award in Library Science. She is also the Outstanding Professional Librarian from PRC. She also received the Gabriel Bernardo Professional Award, the E. Rodriguez Professional Award, the Hall of Fame, and Award of Recognition for her invaluable contribution to the advancement of the librarianship profession from FLI. Everyone, let us all welcome Corazon M. Nera.
Thank you very much, Sir PJ, for that very generous introduction. After hearing the presentation of the distinguished deans and professors representing the top performing schools in LIS, I want to congratulate them for the job well done. They have shared innovative approaches, systems, strategies, pedagogies, and modalities in achieving the limited face-to-face mode of learning. My reaction, Sir PJ, is only one. It was perfect. They did it well. Okay. And they will never shortchange the LIS students. So they will be prepared to take the board exam coming by September. Okay. May I recommend, if I may, that PATLS should compile all these presentations to form part of the best practices of LIS in the limited face-to-face mode. And let's submit it to CHED so that they will know what we are doing in the LIS program. As much as possible, it should be published because there's a dearth of literature relating and regarding to LIS education and training. And this will be a perfect literature or additional literature to the profession. That the presenters shared a lot and we learned a lot. As you may know, the technical panel for information technology education drafted a face-to-face limited face-to-face guidelines on OJT and practicum, but it has outlived its usefulness. So we did not issue it because there were several guidelines already available. But just the same, I congratulate Dr. Sornito for including a very comprehensive program for the OJT and practicum for LIS. Because, you know, we relaxed the number of hours in the OJT to 200 only. And you can choose two types of libraries. You can choose academic, school, public, and special at the convenience of the coordinator and students. But I'm so happy that you pursued the 400 required number of practicum hours. And that is very nice because you have completed the exposure of the students. What I would like to share with you is CMO 32 series of 2021. This is the monitoring and evaluation for flexible learning, one of which is face-to-face as part of that. So, Sir PJ, can you help me share the memorandum? This is monitoring, and LIS will be part of the programs to be visited or monitored. You have done a good presentation of the face-to-face, but I would like to share with you this the items or the parameters to be used by CHED when they come to visit us. And LIS will be one of the programs to be included, okay? And maybe let's concentrate on the forms, Sir PJ. I requested PJ to send a copy of this CMO 20 series of 2020, that's flexible learning and implementation. And now this follow-up CMO for the implementation, okay? Can we go to the form, Sir PJ, for them to some more, okay? Yes, I don't know how how you can do that. Okay, so you will be asked by CHED or the CHED regional office through the ARTQuad. They will be deploying ARTQuad members to come to you, or you submit the proper forms to them before you will be visited. And 2 weeks after, you will be given the schedule. Okay, so this is the first form to be accomplished. This is the institutional profile. You indicate the name of the institution, address, contact numbers, total number of recognized programs, and the permit. Okay. So the next page is the components of the learning continuity plan. Dr. Sornito mentioned the activity plan. Some of you mentioned this, but it's not the learning continuity plan, but you have prepared activities and learning continuity plan. You must have submitted this LCP to CHEDRO or the CHED in 2020. But if you did not, then you still have time to do it. So the components of this form will include the executive summary of the LCP, systems and procedures adopted for the transition, and under that, our list of key people designation, matrix of the following per modality, whether online, blended, or online as applicable. The extent of technology used, the content of learning materials, assessment tools. You will also include the list of resources and support services for students, such as library, multimedia center, guidance and counseling, student support, enrollment and registry, assessment and grade. I think some of you mentioned the grading system, how they paid their tuition. Are they were they assessed online, or were they allowed to go to the school? List of resources for faculty. What are the technical support given to the faculty? Were they given training, workshop? Were they provided gadgets, equipment in the teaching? And how payment system, is it salary deduction or outright grant? Okay, so next page, Sir PJ. Sorry for that. I think, yes, systems, copy of the following, enrollment, attendance, so many items. But according to Professor Pri-Ann, we have to follow, to comply. Reporting, grading, teaching, intellectual IPR, and the use of OARs, open access, and plagiarism check. Included also is the copy of health and safety protocol in accordance with the IATF and local government. We have mentioned that in all the presentation. Copy of orientation schedule provided to both students, teachers, even parents supposed to be. Mechanism for continuous quality improvement, list of linkages and consortium. especially for learning resources. If applicable, copy of MOA certificate for the LMS adapted, Canvas, Blackboard, you mentioned that, and the type, whether it's proprietary or non-proprietary, okay? And the narratives, short description of the different components, okay? The next page is the list of facilities, okay? Of programs and curricular structural program of study modification. Okay, what are the programs offered? Okay, that BLIS, Bachelor of Library and Information Science, or MLS, should be included there. Government permit, level of accreditation, I've heard level 1, level 2, level 3, I hope. A level 4 accreditation for LIS will be coming soon. And CHED recognition, Center of Excellence, Center of Development. We need to identify more LIS schools for the COE and COD, okay? And the total number of enrollees per program, again, BLIS should be included there, MLS, and the total number of faculty per department, okay? And I think the last will be list of key people. This is Form A, systems and procedures adapted for the transition to flexible learning, or that may include also limited face-to-face. So the names, the designation, and the qualifications. If you have offered flexible learning seminars, okay? And the matrix for the following per modality. The components include one, technology. You indicate the technology used for a specific modality, whether it's offline, blended, online. And the CHED, the regional office, will rate you according to the rubrics in the appendix, okay? Content, learning materials, the evaluation and assessment. And number 4 will be, okay, Sir PJ, what else? Sorry, yes, okay. Resources, yes. Resources and support services. The components, which include library, multimedia center, guidance, and counseling, were the given online guidance or online counseling. What student support were given, health and psychological, enrollment, the procedure, assessments and grades, and the payment, okay? It also includes the resources used in for academic and non-academic staff. Were the given technical support? What technical support were given to the faculty? Were there trainings and workshops provided? Are there gadgets, equipment provided? The payment system, and academic and non-academic support. So the last 2 columns will be used by the CHEDRO or the ARQUAT members to rate or to evaluate the implementation of flexible learning modalities, okay? And I think the following pages are matrix for the rubrics, okay? Yeah, I think, yeah, the linkages. Supporting documents, Form B for linkages and consortium. So maybe a library consortium or teaching consortium, description of partnership, objectives, and the names. Okay. Yes. Sir PJ, I think that's the last, and the next pages are the rubrics, 1 to 6. 6 is fully developed, 5 is developed, 4 is developing, 3 is starting to develop, and underdeveloped, 1 not available. So the parameters are in column. Okay. Yes, and that's how you will be evaluated. What will happen if you will not comply with this? I think there is no sanction, but you have to justify. You have to submit to CHED a justification of non-compliance with the said CMO. If you were not able to comply, you should indicate an alternative approach that were utilized in lieu of the suggested strategies given in the CMO, and outcome or evidence of effective implementation of the alternative approaches that was or were utilized. Okay, so I enjoin everyone to be prepared so that when the ARCWAT will come and visit you on how you implemented the flexible learning, including limited face-to-face, you will be ready to submit the needed requirements, documents, and proofs and evidences for the implementation of this. Okay. Thank you very much, Sir PJ, for the assistance. And if you have questions regarding the implementation of this monitoring guidelines, CMO 32 series of 2021, I hope I can answer them. Otherwise, we will refer it to CHED, the regional office. Thank you.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Nera. And also thank you for discussing the CHED memo in detail, and thank you for staying. I'm sure marami pong questions yung mga colleagues natin. And to all our speakers, again, thank you for sharing all of your experiences. May I invite all of you once again here in our Zoom stage so that we can address some of the questions posted by our colleagues. So again, maraming salamat po to all our viewers. If you have any questions for our speaker, you can go type it in the chat section of the YouTube live stream. For those who are with us through the Zoom, you may post your questions through our chat section, and we will allow our speakers to address them. So meron na pong, actually may isa na po na nag-share ng kanyang sentiment about assessment. And this is about how we craft our assessment. No? Kasi if we just do a simple question and answer, sometimes it can easily be Googled by the students if they're doing the remote learning, as opposed to a face-to-face exam wherein you can limit the environment. No? So siguro the question is for our leaders sa mga schools ninyo, were there any specific policy on the construction of the assessment when delivering the remote learning? Anyone who would like to share their experience?
Yeah,
Ayan,
PJ na lang ako.
Go ahead.
So, sorry, Ma'am Dolendo, you want to go ahead?
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, sige, thank you. Assessment of the flexible learning or assessment sa course. I'd like to clarify that first.
I think it's
Kasi
assessment po sa course.
oo, yung bawat courses. Kasi sa atin, just sharing our experience, di ba? Faculty members are given free hand on how they would revise their evaluation of the students pagdating dun sa online teaching natin. And most, if not all, base their assessment on the output, hindi po exam. Kaya madalang yung nagbibigay ng exam talaga sa ngayon. Lately, yun yung napansin ko. Karamihan ay nagiging basihan yung output nila. May mga projects or research na pinapagawa para mas madaling ma-assess yung mag-gauge yung learning ng student. Kasi nga tama yung sinabi ni Sir Jolo na medyo ang hirap mo
Hello? I think Dean MD is having some technical difficulties. We can go back to that. Dean Dolendo, you're also sharing your strategies on the assessments.
No, actually, hindi, the assessment, tama si ma'am, no? They actually, the faculty members are given free hand in terms of assessing the students. But ang very particular lang for the university is, nag-introduce ang university particularly in making use of the 5 E's in in the making their syllabus, and practically it's a guide for all faculty members to at least follow the sequence, like for example engagement, and then my evaluation afterwards. So sa isang topic medyo mahirap nga lang, we incorporate it in the syllabus, and then activities that is being introduced by the teacher. So my follow-up. So practically, like if we only ask them to read a journal, merong follow-up question. So we make use of the 5 E's as our guide. And then dependent upon kung ano yung strategy na gagamitin ng teacher. Like if you would like to let them read, like for example sa indigenous knowledge and multiculturalism, you can provide a journal, or an article talking about like indigenous knowledges, or role of libraries in indigenous knowledge, for example, and then afterwards you can come out with asking them to write down the highlights, and then another activity follow-up based on the highlights that they made use, siguro a poem, ganon, no? A short poem of 3 stanzas, ganon, sharing their, parang ganon na siya. It's more of like kung ano yung strategy mo dun sa face-to-face, you can apply it in your strategy in the Google Classroom. It's a little hard lang, but if consistent naman yung teacher, okay din naman. So I'm just sharing kung ano yung ginagamit namin in terms of adjusting to the online teaching. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Dean Dolendo. Are there any additional thoughts from our other speakers? Would you like to share some other strategies on the assessments?
Sir PJ?
Yes po, Ma'am Pri-Ann.
Okay, so actually we are outcomes-based, but of course there are some concerns regarding, honesty. So what we do is we give them authentic assessments. So we focus more on output, wherein the students will really be challenged to create or produce a particular project, and therefore, somehow assured na talagang sila yung gumawa po nun. So that is just a sharing that we give them authentic assessments. And also, pagdating sa exams naman, what we do is to craft our questions in such a way that, again, there will be no opportunity for them to, to somehow visit and get tempted, other sources while they are doing or while they are answering their exams. Thank you po.
Salamat po, Ma'am Pri-Ann. Alam nyo, mahirap talaga yan. So it's really additional work sa atin ng mga teachers, no? Kasi it's we're going to check a different output. So thank you, Ma'am Pri-Ann. We have here din Mary Grace. I think nagka-problem dito sa
Ayan.
connection. Yes po
Sorry,
din.
I had to transfer to my mobile phone. So, ayan, para makakonect. Nandito po ako sa office, pero unfortunately, mahina, intermittent ang aking connection. Anyway, hindi ko alam kung hanggang saan yun narinig nyo kanina. Pero kagaya nga nung sinabi ko as I was sharing, tayo kasi sa SLIS, we are given free hand on how we would devise our evaluation ng mga estudyante pagdating sa kanya-kanyang kurso na tinuturo natin or yung mga subjects na tinuturo natin. And kadalasan, hindi man lahat, ang evaluation natin ay based din sa output. Kagaya nung senior ni Ma'am Pri-Ann. So output-based din tayo in such a way na yung mga projects din na ginagawa, hindi magbibigay ng room para ano ba ang tawag dito? Parang mag-encourage na maging critical and mas ano ba ang tawag dito? Ma-discourage yung plagiarism, pangungopia or anything para hindi maging honest sila sa pagdating sa pagsagot nila. Hindi yung mga sagot na or project na makokopya or magagaya kung saan, kundi mga unique na assessment or even projects na makikita mo, mag-engage mo talaga yung level ng learning ng estudyante. Ayun, kasi medyo talagang tama yung sabi mo, PJ, challenge talaga sa ating mga nagtuturo kung paano natin matitiyak na natututo yung estudyante. Pero at the same time, tinutulungan natin sila na hindi maging masyadong mahirap para sa kanila yung kasalukuyang setup na ina-adapt natin. So, yun. Ganun din ang sa atin, di ba? Output-based din tayo.
Salamat po din, MG. Dr. Sornito, would you like to add something? Yes,
thank you, Sir Paige. Actually, sir, tama yung sabi ni Ma'am Pri-Ann, we are now on the outcomes based. No? So actually, when we dropped our syllabus, marami pong marami pong mga steps po bago po siya mapa-finalize. No? And then in the outcomes based syllabus po namin sa university po, talaga pong naka-indicate po doon yung mga teaching learning activities, no? Na may teaching activities at saka may learning activities. Meaning to say na pag once naka-plan out talaga yung magandang pagka-set up po ng syllabus, it will follow na po, no, yung learning at saka yung assessment task na naman ng mga estudyante. Maganda kasi, sir, pag naka-ano dito sa syllabus, no, we are required actually to to submit the syllabus na talaga pong may talaga, no, different learning tasks as well as itong mga assessment tasks. So kaya kami po ay talagang nag-explore kung ano ba talaga yung dapat gawin, ano ba talaga yung mga activities, lalong-lalo na po nasa laboratory, no, laboratory classes na talaga pong dapat diverse yung mga activities, na dapat ma-enjoy din ang mga bata kahit na online classes siya. However, yung aming midterm at saka final exam still andyan pa rin, no? Mayroon pa rin kaming mga objective types, mayroon pa rin kaming mga essay type para po to really measure, no, yung kanilang yung kanilang performance, academic performance in the form of Google Google Forms, aming mga examination, and then ipapas lang namin doon sa aming BLE at doon po nag-activity. May mga din kami, mga article reading, especially doon sa mga topics po na talagang ang dami na ng mga electronic resources natin, mga different articles. So we utilize that and then nagre-react sila doon at then nagbibigay po sila ng kanilang point of view, nagko-conclude, something like that. So daming mga assessment or learning task or assessment task na talagang dapat din i-introduce ng ating mga estudyante. Pero I just wonder ba, kasi dito sa amin, ma'am, I just would like to share, Ma'am Corazon Nera and the rest of the dito sa ating LIS program, ang dami pong mga academic scholars ngayon. Yun yung parang hindi lang nagtataka yung aming presidente. Ang daming scholars. Ang dami pong nakakuha ng mga university scholars. Ang daming nakakuha ng mga college scholars na noong face-to-face po ay talagang mahirap yun, mahirap. No? Pero ngayon, nagtataka yung aming presidente. Ang dami. Even yung bago lang kami nag-graduation ng aming recognition pala. Ang daming cum laude. Ang daming, sabi niya, ito bala talaga yung product na yun ng online. Madali lang talaga ang mga estudyante makakuha ng higher grades like +1 or something. So yun pa, I think challenge po natin na talaga po sa amin sa BLIS, talaga pong ina-assess namin ang mga estudyante, talaga pong authentic talaga yung kahit wala po kaming honor, wala pong honor yung mga estudyante. Ang importante po ay nag-ano kami na talaga pong papasala sa board exam kasi very crucial po ang ating course kasi may board exam. Kaya po kami ay talagang nag-ano kami talaga no, na hopefully makapasa din kami while we have this mga online classes po. I think that's all, Sir PJ.
Maraming salamat po,
PJ.
Dr. Sornito. Hopefully, we can share syllabus po no, in the future. Maganda yan.
Yes.
There's another question here, and maybe we can start with Ma'am Nera kasi this one is about the board exam. So, Sir Stephen Alayon mentioned, do you think there will be some implications dun sa right now kasi di ba we are in the remote learning and then we're changing how we do assessments. Ma'am Nera, do you think this will have implication when students take the board exam?
I'm sorry, Sir PJ, I'm not with the board anymore, but I talked or we converse with the board all the time, and they always go back to the syllabus or the curriculum PSG for BLIS for the terms of specification. The only one thing is the MLIS curriculum, because up to now we don't have yet a PSG for the MLIS, and yet we are accepting MLIS entry. No, I mean we have the BLIS and the MLIS qualification to take the board exam, but maybe Madam Granda and Madam David should also explain or discuss the terms of specification to PATLS and to members of those schools offering BLIS. I think they do. We have not visited, or we have not come to visit schools in the last 2 years, and maybe we could include that in the discussion. Thank you, Sir PJ.
Salamat po, Ma'am Nera. For our other panelists po, no, siguro you can share your experience. What has been your strategy to prepare your students for the board exam? Who would like to start? Siguro I'll start na lang with Ma'am Pri-Ann since kasama natin yan sa PATLS. Hello po, Ma'am Pri-Ann.
Yes. So, Sir PJ, can you narinig niyo po ba ako?
Yes po.
Ako po ba yung audio ko? Okay. So you're asking about strategies, right?
Yes po.
Okay. Sorry, medyo may connectivity issues ako dito. So you're asking about strategies, what we do in this virtual mode of learning. So
sorry po. Strategies for preparing the students for the board exam.
Okay, sorry about that. Meron lang akong connectivity problem. Of course, I always tell my students that preparation begins on their first year, because at the end of the day, doon naman talaga tayo pupunta, no? That we aim our students to become licensed. So preparation always begins on their first day. As soon as pumasok po sila sa classroom natin, we already mold them to becoming licensed librarian. So that is my strategy. And of course, it's a collective effort po no, between the administrators and the faculty members in achieving that goal to prepare our students for the board exam. Ayun lang po. Sorry, Sir PJ, about the connectivity issue, but
Okay
I
lang
hope I
po.
was able
Salamat.
to answer your question.
Yes po. Thank
Okay.
you, Ma'am Pri-Ann. How about the other schools? Si Dean Dolendo.
Yeah, good afternoon. I would just like to share lang din yung experience namin, no? We practically, correct, I agree with Ma'am Pri-Ann that we really have to start our, we really need to develop our students, no? Early on, mula sa first year nila. But added to that, we actually conduct course audit, no? Activity, which is a separate subject from the subject. So it's an additional subject offered to our students who are majoring in library information science. Lalo na yung mga fourth years namin, we have our course audit 1 and course audit 2, concentrated or replicating the different major courses that are offered in our board examination. Aside from that, we also offer review classes, and our resource speaker are coming from those who are in the practice talaga, no? So in the different libraries here around the Cordillera region, especially coming from the private and the other government agencies. So we try to invite different resource speaker from from year or from semester to semester. Basta meron kaming graduating students. And we actually have a student help, no, a line, lalo na ngayon na last started nung 2019 na our graduates practically share their experiences, and then it's open where the students can ask, especially those who will be taking their exam, kung ano yung preparation, not only on the questions that is asked, but how they felt, what were their preparation, etc., etc. So yun lang po, just to share. Thank you.
Salamat po, Dean Dolendo. Any additional kay Dr. Sornito, kay Dean Mary Grace?
Yes. Hi, PJ. Sige, dadagdag lang ako. Hello?
Yes po, go ahead.
Ayan. Baka ako nawawala na naman ako. I agree with Ma'am Pri-Ann. You have to let the student know that as early as the first year, dapat nagpe-prepare na sila. And ganun din naman ang ginagawa. Siguro natin, hindi lang sa atin, kundi sa lahat ng UConn LIS schools, kasi talaga namang fully aware tayo na meron tayong board exam. But of course, first and foremost, we want to prepare them to be effective and efficient librarians, di ba? So not just for the LLE exam, kundi for the licensure exam, but also to the actual practice of librarianship. So pinagko-combine natin ito. Pero specific para doon sa librarians licensure exam, we conduct yung LIS refresher program, annual na LIS refresher program para po matiyak na yun na, the term itself says refresher. So to refresh them of what they learn, kasi alam din natin na very objective ang type ng exam na binibigay pagdating sa yung licensure exam. So mabuting balikan din, tulungan nating balikan at mag-review yung ating mga estudyante. And another strategy na ginagawa ng ilan sa mga faculty members natin, I know sa kagaya ni Sir Rod Terlit, nagko-conduct siya ng private na review class para sa indexing and abstracting para sa mga naging estudyante niya o mga gumraduate na magte-take ng LLE. So yun yung isa sa kanyang advocacy, tiyakin na magiging mataas ang scores ng kanyang mga dating estudyante pagdating sa indexing and abstracting kasi kadalasan ito yung sinasabing medyo mahirap pagdating doon sa licensure exam. So yun ang ginagawa ni Sir Rod, and I know other faculty members also do that, and they're open to discussions pagka po merong mga estudyante na gustong magtanong or gustong magpa-tutor regarding doon sa mga lessons na na-take na nila bago sila mag-exam. Ayun po.
Salamat po, Dean MG. Dr. Sornito, anything else?
Yes, sir. Actually, gusto ko lang din i-share ito. Kasi po noon, when we offer kasi the course, we are having our policy on open admission. And na-realize po namin na actually po, ang hirap po, no? Kasi yun yung first namin, so lahat dapat maano namin sa PLIS. So may lesson po kaming nalelearn doon at talaga pong, hindi naman kami nasa-zero sa board exam results, pero medyo may time na ano kami, mataas pa sa national result percentage, meron ding low, pero nakita po namin, talk with our president, paano po ito natin ang ating bliss na talaga pong siya ng at least 5% po over the national percentage. Now, for the last 4 years po, kami po ay ng policy ng president namin and the PPAA na mag-selective retention po kami, mag-open admission but we will have the selective retention at doon po kina-cut off po namin yung aming examination na parang parehas ng engineering yung cut off ng aming OSMISIT, yung entrance examination. Kasi noon ay pwedeng pang 40, pwede pang 30. But ngayon po ay hindi ko consider po namin yung cut off rating po ng aming examination. Pinapaano po namin sa engineering at sa mga other, kasi engineering lang po yung kasama namin kasi yung ComSci at saka Infosys ay wala po silang board exam. So at par po kami doon sa engineering na mga mayroon po kaming yung civil engineering, the agricultural engineering. So nagka-ano po kami doon. Kaya kami po ay mayroon po kaming konti lang ngayon. No? We have 19 students ngayon na talaga pong naka-ano po siya sa level. So inisadihan po namin yan ngayon na kung talaga pong ang mga bata pag nasa mataas na level, talagang parang alam mo na kung sino ang papasa at sino po ang hindi papasa. Yung mga ganyan ba? Sa first year pa lang, alam mo na. Yung mga ganyan. So sa admission pa lang, dapat i-consider talaga. Hindi lang siya i-open admission for the sake lang na marami yung enrollment natin sa BLIS. Talaga ding i-ano din sila. Yan yung lesson na namin na-learn ngayon. And then, i-ano na namin ngayon, isa subject namin for competency enhancement program, same with the engineering namin na in every sa fourth year po nila may i-insert po ng mga subjects lalong-lalo po sa mga major, like sa atin we have 6 major subjects. So yun yung i-insert and then part po siya sa load ng faculty po para hindi na siya magbayad ng review. However, meron din kaming plan to conduct an online review for our students as well as kasi kailangan din yung face-to-face, kailangan din yung online face-to-face na review. Ang makaganda lang yung sa online review kasi I can invite, actually mayroon na ako mga prospect na invite for this review time po na talaga pong pwede silang mag-review while nasa Manila po sila and then invite ko sila for USM, so pwede yon. But however, mayroon din kaming sa aming din na magkakandak din kami ng face-to-face yung malapit na po yung time ng board exam. So yan lang siguro yung ma-share ko, sir, with regards po sa amin. Pinaka-best po talaga na strategy is yung pag-select ng ating students. Pag-start pa lang ng first year, doon talaga ning isa-select na sila based sa kanilang grade at based sa kanilang kung mayroon po kayong mga admission test, mga ganyan. So dapat higher talaga. Walang problema sa UP sa mga kasi almost 100% yan. Pero there are schools here siguro nakaano dito na talaga pong ang hirap po na pag ang course mo talaga ay board exam course, talaga pong very challenging po talaga, sir.
May I share?
Ibigay mo lahat talaga. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Dean Dolendo. Thank you, Dr. Sornito.
Oo. Hindi namin magawa yung selective tawag nito, enrollment, no, because we are following yung kailangan 50. So it's an open, sa amin it's open actually. Oo, and we are trying our best to really, no? Actually nga, sabi nila, yung mga hindi na-accept ng IT, pumupunta ng BLIS. Medyo okay naman po ang aming performance. Ang fear lang talaga, I think everybody would be expecting a little, no, yung pagbaba ng performance. Even the most sabi na mo established, no, like for example yung talagang for the past 10 years or for the past 20 years and nagna number 1 sila, with the results that are coming out now in the examination, we could see that medyo bumaba, no, to a certain point bumaba yung percentage naman ng passing because of the mixture now of our students in terms of their exposure, in terms of the modality of learning. So ngayon medyo okay pa kasi meron yung 3/4, 3 years and naka face to face sila, and then 1 year na online. Tapos babawas, baka next year buo na online yan. We really do have a problem with it. So maybe I guess the different panel members who are here and all the deans and heads of the library and information science do agree with me that we really need to do something about it. We just hope and pray that the face-to-face will already be back, but in a way na ang ating estudyante are already willing to accept the hybrid type or the online type of teaching and learning. Siguro it's really a challenge on our part to really come out with the best type of best type of modality that we could give them, no, in terms of the competencies that they have to learn as future librarians. Thank you.
Salamat po, Dean Dolendo. Nako, sobrang ganda ng discussion. Gusto pa sana namin marinig, no, yung mga experiences ng iba't ibang schools. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We just have to address one last question, and I think the best person to answer this would be Ma'am Nera. Ma'am Nera, meron pong nagtatanong with regards to time frame. No, let's say mag-start na po yung yung first semester, let's say sa August or September. Kailan po ba dapat nagsasubmit na ng mga forms based on the CHED memo yung mga schools?
Sir PJ, dapat nung 2020 pa. So they can start accomplishing the forms, and they can submit it anytime. So the earlier the better.
Ayun, the earlier the better.
Yes.
Ayun, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Nera. Again, we thank everyone, to all our viewers, and especially, of course, to all our speakers and our reactor for answering our viewers' questions. I wish we have more time para po masagot pa yung mga ibang concerns. But for our participants, please wait for the presentations. We'll be compiling all the presentations that were delivered today, and we'll be emailing it to you. So salamat po again to our speakers, and the actor will be sending you our certificates of appreciation and our tokens soon. So please wait for that. Maraming salamat po. To all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. If you missed portions of this webinar, you may rewatch it as a video on our YouTube channel. So please don't forget to subscribe at bit.ly/patels-live. For updates on our upcoming activities, please follow us at our official Facebook page at PATLS Official, or check our website at patels.org. We will be ending our YouTube live stream, but please, those who are in the Zoom meeting, please stay for our General Assembly. Once again, this is Paul Jason Perez, your host and moderator, wishing you all the best. Mag-ingat po tayo.